In a world where mobile gaming has shifted from a niche pastime to a mainstream battleground, the line between a solid daily driver and a dedicated gaming phone becomes razor thin. What if you could pick a device that handles everything? Social apps, productivity, camera use, but still delivers serious frame rates under pressure. Meet the Infinix GT30 Pro, a bold attempt to blur that line with pressure-sensitive triggers, RGB flare, and aggressive thermal design. It promises to bring high-performance gaming to a sub-$300 price range. But as always, the real question is, does it deliver, or is it all eye candy? Watch on as we dig deep into price, design, display, performance, cameras, battery, and more to find out whether the GT30 Pro is a winner or a compromise. At around $350 or roughly 549,700 naira in Nigeria, the Infinix GT30 Pro lands in the competitive mid to upper mid-range segments. For what it offers, gaming features, large battery, AMOLED display, and RGB styling, it's aggressive pricing. At that tag, this is not cheap, but it undercuts many flagship gaming phones while delivering many of the same hallmark features. Design and build. Materials, ergonomics, weight, and in-hand feel. From the specs, the GT30 Pro measures 163.7 by 75.8 by 8 mm and weighs 189 grams. For a phone with a 6.78-inch display and a 5,500 mAh battery, it's reasonable. Not overly bulky, but you will feel its presence, especially over long sessions. The chassis is primarily plastic, which helps keep cost and weight down compared to glass or metal. Yet the trade-off is that plastic doesn't quite give that premium heft or cool touch. In hand, it's flat-edged, which works well for grip, especially when gaming in landscape orientation. The RGB lighting zones on the back add visual flair, giving it a mecha cyber identity that leans hard into the gaming aesthetic. Durability. The device carries an IP64 rating, which means it's dust-tight to a good degree and splash resistance, but not water submersible. That's a useful baseline for everyday use, a sudden rain, an accidental splash, but it doesn't replace full waterproofing. On the front is Corning Gorilla Glass 7i, which is among Infinix's claims to better scratch and drop resistance. Note the i variant is tuned for plastic surface compatibility. In practice, it helps with resilience but isn't indestructible. The hinge or foldable concerns don't apply here since this is a standard slab design. In sum, the build is pragmatic, not ultra-premium but cleverly engineered to maximize features, RGB, triggers, big battery, while keeping costs under control. Display. GT30 Pro features a 6.78-inch AMOLED or ALTPS hybrid panel, rendering 1 billion colors at a resolution of 1224 by 2720px, roughly 1.5K, and an aspect ratio around 20:9. It supports a 144Hz refresh rate, giving a very fluid visual experience in UI transitions and high frame rate gaming. On paper, its brightness is quite competitive, about 700 nits typical, peaking at 1600 nits or even higher in selective scenarios. That should translate to solid outdoor legibility. The color accuracy is generally good for gaming and daily use. You get punchy, vibrant tones, though perhaps not as color accurate as a flagship calibrated panel. In practice, reviews note that it holds up well in bright conditions without major washouts. Regarding HDR, the GT30 Pro doesn't necessarily match the top-tier HDR capabilities of flagship phones, such as extremely high peaks or full 10-bit support. But for gaming, video, and general content, it performs admirably. One of the strengths is responsiveness, low latency touch, good sampling rates, so fast swipes, flicks, and taps in games feel smooth. The 144Hz ceiling gives room for high frame rate in games that support it. In titles like PUBG Mobile, the GT30 Pro unlocks 120 FPS gameplay, which is impressive at this price tier. Overall, the display is a highlight of the device. Large, colorful, fast, and bright enough for most lighting conditions. Performance. Under the hood is a MediaTek Dimensity 8350 Ultimate 4nm process, a strong mid-range to near flagship chip with an octa-core setup, mix of Cortex A715 and A510 cores. It's well suited for gaming, multitasking, and demanding apps. Memory and storage configurations go up to 12GB RAM plus 512GB using UFS 4.0 storage. This is a premium level spec in this price bracket, meaning faster reads and writes, quicker uploading and better sustained performance under load. Other review sources report that the GT30 Pro competes strongly with more expensive devices for gaming and synthetic tests. Its GPU Mali G615 combined with optimized cooling helps maintain high frame rates. In real-world usage, the phone handles multitasking, app switching, and intensive games smoothly. The GT30 Pro uses various strategies: a 3D vapor cloud chamber cooling system, bypass charging to reduce battery stress while charging under load, and compatibility with a mag charge cooler accessory, an active cooling attachment. During sustained gaming, these systems help curtail throttling, keeping core temperatures lower and frame stability higher. Software and experience. OS version and updates. Shipping on Android 15 with XOS 15 layered at top. The GT30 Pro gives you a relatively current software base. However, the update policy is modest. Just 2 major Android upgrades are promised, which is weaker than what some rivals now offer. That means long-term software support is a vulnerability, especially for a device intended for users who may keep it 3+ years. UI, bloatware, and stability. XOS brings a modern interface with gaming-centric features built in. Example, quick toggles, performance modes, RGB controls, etc. It's not the lightest skin. There is some Infinix-specific bloatware and utility apps, but it's tolerable, and many pre-installed apps can be disabled. In daily use, the OS is responsive, stable, and well optimized for the hardware. Some reviewers do note occasional quirks or minor bugs, but nothing crippling. Customization options are decent. Themes, lighting, performance profiles, though not as deep as some brands focus solely on software flexibility. Overall, this software experience complements the hardware well, though the limited update window is a weakness in long-term value. Cameras. In good lighting, the 108-megapixel sensor delivers good detail, sharp images, and dynamic range that holds up. Colors tend toward the punchy side, which is acceptable for social sharing and general use. The HDR processing is serviceable. It rescues highlights and shadows reasonably well without overdoing contrast. The ultrawide is serviceable but clearly less capable, lower resolution and more noise in low light. Its effectiveness is mostly for wide-angle shots in decent lighting. Portraits and depth effects do a fair job, though edge detection may occasionally falter in complex scenes. Skin tones lean toward pleasing, slightly saturated but remain consistent across shots. In low light conditions, the main camera can still salvage usable images thanks to the larger sensor and software noise reduction, but noise, softness, and color cast creep in. You won't get flagship level low light performance, but it's decent given the price. The ultra-wide struggles more at night, expect grain and blur. Video can be recorded by the rear camera at 4K at 30 or 60 fps and 1080p at 240 fps. The front camera supports 4K at 30 fps and 1080p. The stabilization is good for handheld use in daylight. Expect subject-to-subject remnants of shake under strong motion or low light. Autofocus is reliable in most cases, though fast erratic motion in low light can challenge it. Audio quality is decent, captures ambient sound well, but not class-leading. For casual content creation, it's fine. For high-end video, you'd want external microphones. Overall, the camera package is balanced, strong for the price, but not a replacement for flagship camera performance. Battery and charging. Capacity and endurance. With a 5,500 mAh battery, the GT30 Pro sits on the generous side. Real-world screen-on times hover in the 6 to 8 hour range, depending on usage profile, and lighter users can stretch it to a day and a half. In gaming, you will see more drain, but the large capacity gives more headroom than most. Battery efficiency is aided by the chip's 4nm process and power optimizations. In reviews, it holds up well over moderate to heavy use without rapid degradation. Charging, wired, wireless, and reverse. Wired is 45 watts, which gives a solid top-off speed, though not flash compared to 100 watts plus options. Wireless is 30 watts, generous at this price point, letting you go cable-free more often. Reverse wired is 10 watts and reverse wireless is 5 watts. The device also features bypass charging 2.0, a system intended to reduce battery stress and heat during gaming while charging, useful when you want to play and charge simultaneously. Thermal control during charging is quite decent thanks to that bypass system and the cooling apparatus. You may still feel mild warmth on the back, but it's not suffocating or uncomfortable under normal ambient conditions. In short, battery and charging are well balanced. It's not the fastest, but smart design choices help you behave like a better charger than the raw number suggests. Audio and haptics. The GT30 Pro has stereo speakers. In tests, the loudness is solid for a phone, with distinct separation between channels when held in landscape. The clarity is good, low distortion, decent mids, though bass is limited as with most phones. For gaming and media consumption, it's quite serviceable. There is no 3.5mm headphone jack, so you'll depend on USB-C or Bluetooth audio. Bluetooth supports modern codecs, giving you low latency and good sound when paired with capable headphones. Connectivity and biometrics. Network and communications. 5G supported. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi 6, which offers reliable wireless speeds in compatible networks. Bluetooth version 5.4. GPS or location, accurate in daily use, navigation, mapping. NFC, present and works for payment and quick pairing. USB, presumably USB-C 3.x or high speed, exact spec not always stated. So connectivity is fully modern and expected in a 2025 device. Biometrics and face unlock. Fingerprint unlocking is via an under-display optical sensor. It's responsive and quick for most uses, though low light or wet fingers might raise the occasional miss. Face unlock 2D is likely available as a convenience fallback. Overall, biometric authentication is reliable and functional for everyday use. Verdict: who should buy it? If you are a gamer looking for serious performance without paying flagship tax, the Infinix GT30 Pro is a compelling pick, especially in markets where it's priced near its MSRP. It's ideal for users who want a daily driver that also handles high frame rate games and who value gaming features like triggers, RGB lighting, and cooling support. If your priorities tilt heavily towards camera excellence, software longevity, or ultra-premium build materials, there are alternatives that might better suit your needs. Overall score or tier, I would place the Infinix GT30 Pro in the best mid-range gaming choice tier. It punches above its price, offering a uniquely balanced mix of gaming-focused hardware and everyday usability. On a 10-point scale, it lands around 8.5 out of 10, losing some ground only due to software update limitations and camera compromises. If you found this review helpful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next breakdown of the best tech deals and mobile comparisons.